And welcome back, everyone, to the Q&A part 2. I did the entire Q&A yesterday. My voice was going hard, almost gone. And then afterwards, I realized, oh crap, there's a few things in there I can't get out of the video that shouldn't be in the video. Nothing serious, but just like, I can't use this version of the Q&A. So rehashing it, redoing it. And you know, it's good because I had to kind of like move around twice in there. Here now, I'm just sitting on the couch, got me a drink. It's 12:30 noon, so it's perfectly fine to be drinking. I'm on vacation. This is oh god, what type of rum do I have here? It's rum, a little maraschino, and something called macadamia rum, like beach rum. It's potent to say the least, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing anything today. Oh, that's not true. I've got Halloween stuff to do at my girlfriend's place. We're having a fire and all that. But still, it is what it is. It's fine. Now, the good news, though, is because I've already gone through all this once, I'm going to be able to speed through a bunch of these questions that I kind of maybe lingered on too long the last time. So let's just get into it. There are 43 comments, multiple questions in some of these comments. And starting out, we have Chris Dash, who asked a lot of questions. And Chris, next time you do a Q&A, I put Q&A questions in, just so you know, you can put multiple questions in one comment. You don't have to just continually make new comments, because what happens is other people ask questions between the questions you've asked. So I go from, hey, it's Chris Dash, to, hey, it's this next person. Hey, Chris Dash got you more. Oh, I got, so, or vice versa with someone else doing that. So just for the future, try to maybe just put all your questions in one comment, and we'll go from there. But here's your first of 4. Out of curiosity, what's your favorite type of elements and type of martial arts? That's kind of like an Avatar question, because the elements in Avatar, their styles are based on martial arts. Martial arts, I've done martial arts for years. I haven't like openly been practicing, but I know martial arts. So if I had to defend myself, I could defend myself, absolutely. And you know, elements, we use elements in basically all in a lot of these. That being said, I would say, in terms of the martial arts, I would say Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist that Bruce Lee patented, I'd say would be definitely not my favorite martial art, but like a martial art I know at least partly how to do, and also one that is just really cool. Also, drunken fist style, or monkey style kung fu, and Bagua. I'm a fan of Bagua. In terms of elements, it doesn't really change depending on which like culture you go in, because if you go into Chinese culture, the elements are different. I believe it's water, fire, earth, wind, but I also believe they add wood and metal and lightning in there as well. That being said, we're talking about like just the general elements of nature as a whole. I would say wind and lightning. I'm a big fan of like the concept of like a storm being used as for power. Fire, I'm just not a huge fan of when it comes to like elemental powers or something like that. Water can be cool, but and earth is for what fits my personality, I would say it would definitely be lightning or wind. Then Chris Dash also asked, out of curiosity, what was a mutant? If you was, I think you meant if I was a mutant, not if you was, but if you were a mutant. What kind of mutant power would you want? Either an energy-based one, those are usually pretty powerful, or a healing factor would be kind of cool. I've also got ideas, or maybe something that deals with like restructuring of something, similar to like Overhaul in My Hero, or Urahara's Bankai in Bleach. Things along those lines would be kind of cool. Powers where you actually have to think of like the applications of it. Chris Dash asks, out of curiosity, who's your favorite Sonic character? It's either Shadow, Knuckles, or Silver, to be honest. I like Silver's design, like this silver, just psychic hedgehog. He's a cool design, cool character. But it's kind of hard not to say Shadow. But I've always had a soft spot for Knuckles too. So, well, now like the few times I've ever played like games where Knuckles is playable, I would usually play Knuckles. Let's see now. Chris also asked, what's your favorite branch of the military? This is one of those questions where I've never once thought about that. Not that I don't love my military or the military. They protect and serve our country. Absolutely do. Now, sometimes they also get abused and used in ways they shouldn't, but that's a different story entirely. I would say maybe the Marines, though, just because I have relatives who have served in the Marines. So I'd say the Marines. And then you got quite a few more here, so we'll get to another 4 before I start talking about other people. Chris Dash also asked, what is your favorite Justice League character? It's hard not to say Batman. But if I were to take Batman out of the equation, I'd say say the core roster. Maybe Green Lantern. I like Green Lantern. The idea of a power ring is pretty cool. Out of curiosity, who's your favorite Avenger? Now, if you're talking about from the comics, there's been plenty of Avengers. So that'd be either Doctor Strange, maybe throw Wolverine because he has been Avenger before. So maybe among them. But if you're talking about the movie characters, it's a lot more slimmed down. I'd go either Thor. Ironically, Cap is a really good character in the MCU. I don't hate Cap either in the comics. I don't. I think I like him as he's portrayed in the MCU. So Cap, Thor, or honestly, maybe Sam. Sam's really turned into a really good character. So maybe that. Sam Wilson. Then see here. Out of curiosity, if you was a mutant, if I was a mutant, if you were a mutant, again, grammar, but I know what you meant. If you were a mutant, what ideology would you choose, Professor X or Magneto? It might be sad to say, but it would be a mix of both, but it would be leaning on Professor X's side. Because violence should never be an answer. Violence is your last answer. It's the last solution you have. Or it's the last answer to any problem, really. Magneto, unfortunately, basically took the idea of, oh, we're superior, I've got to do this by violence, all that. Now, he's definitely chilled out in other incarnations, but he basically found humanity a threat to his people and was going to wipe them out on multiple occasions. Whereas Professor X definitely preaches more of the peace ideal. We should all live and work together. Now, mind you, that does blind him at points to people who just aren't, or mutants who just aren't worth it, to be honest, who aren't going to buy into that no matter what. But like I said, I'd lean a lot more towards Professor X's ideology while understanding that there are going to be people you're never going to convince. And I'm not saying you have to take those people out. I'm just saying you have to understand that you may have to make a choice you don't want to make. That's, you're going to be kind of forced into that kind of thing. So there's that. Chris Dash continues to ask, out of curiosity, who do you think has the better company, DC or Marvel? If we're talking about the comic companies, like just the comic books they make, which is a dying company, it's a dying company, sadly, due to the digital age and all that. I would say DC probably wins out a little bit in that, but they're probably pretty close and comparable to each other. If we're talking about the movies, however, and if we're talking about them at their peak, not just necessarily the DCEU, but just like all the DC films in total, it would still be the MCU. In Marvel, it would still be Marvel by a long shot. Yes, the DC universe has a couple fantastic films with The Dark Knight, with the original Batman, with the original Superman, and a couple of the DCEU films are like well praised. Like Wonder Woman is well praised. Really enough, the Suicide Squad is well praised. So, and Aquaman did well, but it's kind of a no. It's even if you have, say, The Dark Knight as one of the greatest comic book movies ever, that doesn't balance out the rest of it. Whereas with the MCU up until recently, and I'm just looking at the MCU, not even like Fox or Sony, you had just quality. Even their lowest grade stuff was better than a lot of other stuff. So up until recently, they were just batting 100. Now they're batting like I want to say 80. They're kings of the comic book movies right now. They definitely are. But they definitely have now missed a beat or two. But they're seeming to be getting back on track. We'll see next year if that continues. So yeah. And that's not even including some of the movies like the Fox X-Men stuff, where you had like the first trilogy of the X-Men movies, which a couple of them are really great. Then you had Days of Future Past, which was great by most people's standards. Then you had Deadpool movies. Then you had Logan, which was one of the best movies I still contend was the best movie of that year. Yeah, Marvel beats them in terms of a movie studio. So that's my answer. Chris Dash also asks, out of curiosity, what are your opinions on Agatha all along? Okay, so I did if you want to actually really know my more in-depth opinions, I have a halfway mark done, I'm halfway through Agatha video on the channel. You can look that up, and as soon as I watch the last 2 episodes, I'll be doing I finished Agatha video in there and my thoughts on that. So yeah, that is definitely going to be up soon. But as it stands, I'm enjoying Agatha a lot, and I hate these people who are looking for an excuse to say Agatha's a failure by ratings when it turns out that's not the case. It's not. Like these idiots who just want to hate on Marvel and hate a property that's either got gay characters in it or queer characters, or just don't want something to succeed, or just trying to paint this false narrative, and it's so stupid. It is so stupid. But no, I'm loving Agatha. It's great for this time of year. It's spoopy. I'm really enjoying it. All right, Chris, you also got a bunch of other questions, so I'm really just getting through as much of this as possible here for you before we get to everyone else, just because some people really did scale a lot of questions in here. Okay, Chris Dash also asks, would you ever consider making What If the Teenage Mutant Turtles went to the Xavier School for the Gifted Youngsters? I believe I wrote that down in the What If book when you gave it, so yes. And yes, I would do What If Wonder Girl was in the boys. For birthday requests, okay, so you asked me twice about how birthday requests works. 1, how do you suggest it? And B, what to suggest? 1B, A, B, 1, 2. So first, how does the birthday suggestion work? Just give me the suggestion before your actual birthday. I'll add it to my schedule. It can be even the day before. I just need some time to, mentally prepare for that. But do not give it to me on your birthday. I have had too many people say, it's my birthday, do this. And I acquiesce it because I'm like, okay, fine. But it's like, guys, I have a life, I do a schedule for a reason. So you can't just ask me suddenly on your birthday to do a birthday. You got to give me some prep time for that. As for what to ask for, you can ask me to do anything. Just, it has to be something I can do in one video. A perfect example of this was a viewer a while back gave me a suggestion for what if the Transformers were in Naruto. And I quickly realized I can't do that in one shot. That's at least a multiple part what if series to do. So you can't ask me to do that in one shot. You just can't. It can be the subject matter can be anything. What if, who would win, Lantern, a video type I don't do, but you have to ask it prior, and it has to be a one shot. That's how it works. So there's that. Who's my favorite X-Men character? I think I've said it before, but Wolverine's right up there. Gambit is right up there. If we're talking about the X-Men characters, not just like the X-Men themselves, I'd maybe throw Storm on there. I'd throw Mr. Sinister on there. Definitely throw him on there. So there's a couple. Yes, I would consider doing What If Hancock was in the boys. Who do I think has a better school, aka Hogwarts? The better school, aka Hogwarts, or you could just said, who do I think has the better school, Hogwarts or Xavier School? I don't know where you meant aka from. It's Xavier School, hands down. Now they have been attacked before. They have been overrun all the time, but it almost seems like consistently every goddamn year in Hogwarts, kids are dying. The school is under attack. In 7 years' time, 7 years, each year, some shit went down there for those book series. Now, maybe there was a lot of peace afterwards, or maybe not. But the point is, it still was. And honestly, I don't think it's the best teaching system ever, because you're teaching them to have wizard job. You're teaching them to live in the world of wizards, not to live in the world of muggles. And that's, great, but that's just keeping that's weirdly enough the Magneto philosophy. Keep them separate instead of integrating. Whereas Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters genuinely runs pretty smooth, most of the time, and every once in a while something happens to the school. Plus, if you're asking who's got the better defenses on the school, it's Xavier's, because they have characters that are reality warpers going to that school. So, yeah, no, in fact, if you put these two against her in a fight, the Xavier School would make mincemeat of Hogwarts. You might, they could just, killing curse. You're not going to be able to killing curse first off, hardly anyone's ever going to use a killing curse from Hogwarts. Second of all, or any of the unforgivable curses. But second of all, even if you use the magic of that on them, you're still going to have to deal with a lot of kids with absurd powers who don't need to verbally say things. And the most skilled wizards don't, but without a wand, only people like Dumbledore and Voldemort can really use magic without a wand. And that one guy in the pub who could just stir his wand. Only highly skilled wizards can use their magic without wands. And you still got to aim and think of what spell you're going to do. Whereas someone just like Cyclops, who is powerful, but it's not like the end-all be-all at the school, could just lay waste to the entire school in less than a minute. He could just... And assuming not everyone's dead, then they have to contend with that. So... yeah, no, Xavier's school is the safer school. It's the better school. Plus, it's teaching you to live not just with mutants, but in the real world as well. Then you also ask, what's my opinion on Shark Tank and Undercover Boss? I'll be honest, I don't care about those. I've never watched them. The Undercover Boss thing, I do respect a little bit more as a concept. Because, yeah, it's like, if the owners of their companies are kind of like disconnected a little bit, don't really know what's going on, it behooves them to know what's going on. And then seeing like idiot employees thinking they know better than the actual boss is quite entertaining. And it gave some good parodies, like Kylo Ren doing Undercover Boss on Saturday Night Live was pretty funny. So there's definitely things I like about it. Certainly. But yeah, otherwise, no, they're not really my taste. Peak Edits asks, favorite piece of media ever? And if you can't come up with one, then maybe a couple of your favorites. When you say media, that can mean anything. Music, movies, books, whatever. So I'll give you a little bit of everything. My favorite movies by genre, real quick. My favorite horror movies are American Werewolf in London and The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. My favorite comedies ever, to name just a couple, because I got so many comedies I love. Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, Dodgeball. Those would be a couple of them. Favorite action movie? Oh God, no, I don't think I could even answer that one. Some of my top favorites would be the first three Indiana Jones, but particularly Last Crusade. Die Hard, love Die Hard. A lot of MCU stuff, obviously, or a lot of comic book stuff in general. Honestly, favorite song, my favorite band is Led Zeppelin. Some of my favorite songs, Stairway to Heaven is a classic. But also, Ramble On. Guys, I just love how big of nerds Led Zeppelin actually were. Because I am the traveler, both time and space. That's Doctor Who reference right there. Also, one of my favorite songs is Dancing in the Moonlight. I like the top loader version actually a little better than the original version. If you ever listen to the original version, it's just the lyrics aren't really balanced out with the music, in my opinion. The top loader version at least seems like it's balanced out with the music more. Otherwise, like favorite books, I'll be honest, I don't read a lot of books. Not because I don't enjoy reading, I just don't read books that much. But favorite mangas though, again, Bleach is my favorite of the big three, so there's that. Anyway, yeah, those would be some of my favorite medias. James Riley, did you write down my suggestion to do a what if Eraserhead and Kakashi were swapped? What comics do you think the My Hero cast would like? Okay, so I'll answer a couple of those. Midori would be reading Superman comics. I feel like Bakugo might read Superman comics for the wrong reasons. Because he liked All Might for the wrong reason. And it was even flat. Said no, he was idolizing All Might for the wrong reasons. But otherwise, Eraserhead might like Batman as well, to be frank. Uraraka might like Wonder Woman. But yes, I did record. You don't have to ask. Here, look, I know people just want confirmation on if I got their request, but let me tell you, I get every request that comes. It comes through, and I see it, and I write it down. You're gonna have to just trust me when I say I see everything. I see all. I know all. All right then. So now we get to a couple other people because I think I've gone through all of Chris's now, and that was Piquet. So Noble Chief asks 1 to 10. All right, another Q&A. Yes, it is. 10 questions. Bring it on. 1, do you like Venom as an alien or the man thing, or like the man-made thing he was, like in the Ultimate Universe? I prefer the alien. I get the Ultimate Universe definitely tried some new things, and you know what? It's fine to try new things. I actually didn't hate the idea that Venom was something different than an alien parasite. I just prefer the alien parasite because it leads to like the symbiotes, all of them. It gives us things like toxin, null, anti-venom, all that. So yeah, I like the alien version better. If there was a Marvel Comics Civil War 3, who would be the two leaders of the group? Well, unfortunately, because he's already been the leader twice, it would still be Iron Man. I have no doubt about that. But then, if we were to give me someone new, you were to suggest someone new, I actually might go Bruce Banner. Because it has to be someone who has a reason to go against the government. With Cap, it made sense. Government, he was pretty much anti-government at that point. With Captain Marvel, I can't remember the reason for it. I know Civil War 2 was nowhere near as good as the other one. Yeah, so yeah, I'd say Bruce might make a good opposing and Iron Man can still go toe to toe with Hulk. He can, because he's got many suits that can go to toe with him, like a Hulkbuster. Not the Endosim. That's not really his. That's not really our Tony's. That was an evil version of Tony's suit, but still. Okay, 3. Which horror base will be great as a street/city in Marvel? I'm going to be honest. The first time I read this, didn't know what you meant, and I still actually don't know what you mean by horror base. Do you mean like the fan base, the lair in which a villain lives? In which case, there aren't many of those. Like a lot of these villains just kind of wander. Freddy occupies Elm Street, but yeah. So I unfortunately can't answer that question. If you want to re-ask that question in another Q&A, you'll have to define what you mean by that. My thoughts on senzu beans. How far do they heal someone's body? As far as I know, they can heal just about anything except regrowing a limb. Now, I don't know that for a fact because we never actually saw like someone try that. But I know like Gohan lost his arm against the androids, gave his last senzu to Trunks to heal him up, and then kept his arm lost. With Piccolo, you can't count it when he gets a senzu because he can regenerate anyway. And we know like it healed Yamcha from like a gut wound. So they can heal a lot. I just don't know if it can just regrow a limb. I've never seen any proof that I don't know if there's a statement, you know what? Why don't we answer that question right now? Can senzu beans regrow a limb? I don't think they can. Can senzu bean? What do you think? I'm just giving this away? Because I'm not. All right. Can they? Yes, a senzu bean. Okay, so a senzu bean can regrow lost limbs in Dragon Ball. Senzus can also regenerate other lost anatomy, such as organs and teeth. However, senzus cannot heal injuries that have already been healed, like scars or stubbed tails of a Saiyan. Okay, well, there's your answer then. They can, in fact, regrow limbs. I've just never seen it happen. So, there you go. There's your answer. Have you played Spared Zero? If so, what? If so, your thoughts on it. I don't even know what that is. Sadly, Spared Zero. What is this? Spared Zero. Zero. What is this game you speak of? Are you talking about Sparking Zero? Okay, I have a feeling you're talking about Sparking Zero. Guys, spelling is key because I didn't know what the hell Spared Zero is. Sparking Zero makes a lot more, or Spark Zero, Sparking Zero makes a lot more sense. And no, I still haven't played it. I've heard good things, but I don't play a lot of those games, sadly. What's your favorite nickname for a DBZ character? Personally, the Angel Born in Hell was a good one. Who was nicknamed the Angel Born in Hell? Angel Born in Hell. Who was the Angel Born in Hell? Oh, Gogeta. Okay, I was wondering who had that nickname. Okay, I don't know the nickname. I'll be honest, I don't know any of the Dragon Ball Z characters' nicknames. Like Clown, that's not a nickname. That's just what Vegeta calls Goku sometimes. So yeah, I really couldn't tell you. I don't know their nicknames. What was kept in Gingy's original form? Because the body change move is OP. There's a good chance the Namek design wasn't original form. You're right. There's actually a very good chance that wasn't his original form. If you ever read the Dragon Ball Multiverse comic, he actually like survived and kept possessing people until he ended up possessing King Cold. That's an answer I couldn't tell you. Like because of how like mutants work in the Dragon Ball Z, like different alien species that look almost humanoid but are different, I could not tell you what his original form was. My guess would probably be that it was something very weak though, because he just wanted stronger and stronger forms. So, but he still had an ability to do that. So that'd be my guess. Number 8, if DC came to you and said, make us a new emotional core, I'm sure you meant core, not chord. Again, guys, proofread before you do this, and the oath to what it would be. I think when I answer this, there's not actually a lot of emotions left to really tackle, because right now we have will, which I still don't understand as an emotion. It's not. Fear, the ability to instill fear. Rage, like rage, like wanting revenge rage. Love, compassion, avarice, hope. Then you have technically shame with ultraviolet. The death and the white lanterns are two. The black and white lanterns are different from the emotional spectrum. You also have gold lanterns of happiness, and most recently we have the gray lanterns of sorrow. So there's not actually a lot of room left for like the colors, or like a color spectrum per se. But that being said, um, a couple things you could still tackle is fear, but the opposite of instilling fear, being constantly afraid. The like just scared Lantern Corps, the opposite fear Lantern Corps, and whatever like the inversion of yellow theoretically could be. You could also have a there was another one I was thinking of here. There's like a couple I thought of originally, but the one that stuck out to me that I actually think would be great for a new like antagonistic Lantern Corps is the nihilism Lantern Corps. Just pure apathy, not caring about anything, just wanting it all to end because it doesn't matter no matter what. A nihilism Lantern Corps would be really actually a cool idea. And while the Lanterns of Sorrow currently have the grayish silver color, I could see that also going to apathy, but maybe even just being a muted color. Like there's almost no glow to them when they do it. They almost just look like solid color without any sort of like translucency. As far as what the oath would be, I think I made it up on top of my head. In Blackest Day, in Darkest Day, and Blackest Night, the stars will burn out and no longer shine bright. The planets will fade. The universe will die. Or the universe. Sorry, it was like the planets will. Was it? The planets will fade. The planets fade. The universe will die. Beware the light. No, I can't. How did I put it? Because I had to make it up on the top of my head. I know it was like so it was like in brightest day, blackest night, nothing shall shine bright. Stars will fade. Planets will fade. No, planets will die. Stars will fade. The light of nothing will. I can't remember exactly. I made it up off the top of my head the last time. The light. I know it ended with basically something like the light of nothing will consume all, something like that. Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I think I remember it was something along the lines of the stars will fade, the planets will fall, the light of nothing will consume all, something like that. So yeah, that would be the one I would make up. When it comes number 9, when you think of Xbox is I think what you meant to say, and PlayStation, what characters do you think of that response that are the representatives, guys? You got to proofread a little bit to the companies that represent. I'm guessing basically what characters stand out to me as being true representatives of each brand. The problem is a lot of their games cross over, so I couldn't really tell you. I would say maybe Kratos for PlayStation. I definitely might say Nathan Drake for PlayStation. And I might go Arkham Batman for Xbox. But again, that's because I played Arkham on Xbox. I didn't really do anything else otherwise. But that's not something I can really answer because they crossed over a lot of their characters and a lot of games. And finally, 10. If the Justice League were to go MIA, gone, dead, whatever, in the case, which hero would take the place temporarily or forever? Let's say 8 League members. So you're asking about Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, probably, Martian Manhunter, and I'd throw Hawkgirl just from the animated series in there. Um, so let's get Hot Girl out of the way first. I could throw anyone in the Hot Girl's place. Let's do Starfire. Starfire, okay. And let's go back. Martian Manhunter, I'd throw Miss Martian. She's arguably even stronger than he is. Then for Cyborg's a tricky one because there's not a lot of tech-based superheroes. I might go with Mr. Terrific just because he's super intelligent. Then we go with the core. And there are other Green Lanterns, so you could just replace Green Lantern. So there's that. Flash, you'd have to get another speedster like Kid Flash or something on there. Wonder Woman, that one's a little bit trickier to do. I might go Starfire. I think I said Starfire for Hawk Girl, but you might go maybe even throw Raven on there. Superman, I might throw Shazam. He's comparable at least. And Batman, you just throw Nightwing on there. So there you go. So anyway, and keep up the videos and happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. So the myth that never happened. Great username. Ask 1 of 3. What would you think if Naruto had access to the Uzumaki chains? I've looked at other what ifs, what others have done, and I can't find anything. Okay, so I remember seeing this question, and I realized, okay, so the issue you might be having is looking up what if Naruto had the Uzumaki chains. Try looking up what if Naruto was a full Uzumaki. Because for him to have the Uzumaki chains, he has to be a full-blooded Uzumaki. Naruto is not a full-blooded Uzumaki. He's half Namikaze, whatever that is. Some people speculate that Tsunade might be his mom. I do not believe that whatsoever. There's no evidence to say Tsunade even had a child, let alone the fact that she'd be so irresponsible as to abandon her child. Like, yeah, her lover and her brother died, but if she had a kid, I have a feeling that would keep her in the village. So, no, that's not going to happen. Nor, by the way, is the what if of me marrying Tsunade to Minato. That's not happening either. The age gap is too great. That's not happening. Sorry to the person who keeps suggesting it. It's not going to happen. Sorry. There has to be some logic behind it. That said, if Naruto had the Uzumaki chains and was full-blood Uzumaki, his life would be a lot easier. Not necessarily because people would be treating him differently. I don't think that. But because he would have an easier time with the Kurama because of the Uzumaki chains that would help bind Kurama. So there's that. But like I said, try looking at what if Naruto was a full Uzumaki as opposed to just having the Uzumaki chains. Or look up the adamantine chains, too. Number 2, will you do a what if you did for My Hero and Pokemon, like a Naruto and Pokemon crossover, DBZ Pokemon crossover? At some point, yes, those what ifs are written down. So yeah, at some point I will do that. Then number 3, what's your favorite dessert? I've got one true favorite dessert. I love a fresh baked cookie. I love it. So it's just like mushy in the middle, just enough to be like almost like fudge. Good fudgy brown. I love that. But my favorite dessert is a cinnamon bun, not a cinnamon roll, or cinnamon roll. A fresh baked, thick, with just creamy icing. I need like that sugary cinnamon in the middle to be also thick and creamy. Oh, it's so good, so good. All right then. So thanks for the questions. Dennis Servin. Hey, Clockwork, great content as always. Thank you. Thanks for all your dedication and hard work. I try. Will always be appreciative, my man. Same to you for watching. Now, to my questions. 1 of 6. Spooky season is upon us. Do you have any special Halloween memories or a memory? Sadly, no. I do not, because Halloween has never been a very big or important holiday to me personally. I definitely did trick-or-treating as a kid, and it was fine, but I ultimately just did not, I grew out of it. Now, I was going to say I don't do stuff for Halloween still. I'll still give out candy occasionally. We're going to have a fire tonight at my girlfriend's house. So we definitely still do stuff, but no, I don't really have Halloween memories that stand out to me. And okay, do I have a waifu? I'm assuming you mean waifu. There's an A in there. So we all have our waifus, our fictional women who we would make wives in an instant. But there's so many in so many cultures, animes, that I'll say this. I'll go with, look at Bleach, Naruto, and My Hero, because I don't follow One Piece very much. Let's look at My Hero. If I am at the age I'm at, which is I'm about to be 35, I would say Mirako is definitely waifu material. Believe it or not, I'm not a big Midnight fan, or the Mount Lady. I'm neither. I'm like, sure, I'm sure they're attractive in their own right, but no, Mirko I think is bae for a lot of people. That being said, there's also, what was it, Lady Nagat? Honestly, I kind of like Lady Nagat. But beyond that, if I were at the appropriate age, like around 15, 16, back in there, I probably would have been attracted to either Sue or Mina. Those are the two I probably would have been attracted to. Jiro just kind of gives me off-putting vibes, and Momo is just kind of stereotypical attractive girl. So, no, I probably would have been attracted to either of those two. From Bleach, it's Yoruichi, all day, every day. Although Senjumaru is kind of bae too, now I think about it. And Holly-Bell's kind of bae too, but Yoruichi, every day, all day. She could kick my ass. She's badass. She's got a good sense of humor. She's intelligent. She's capable. Like, what's not to love? And then with Naruto, again, if we're doing appropriate ages here, I would go May in a heartbeat during the original Naruto run between Shippuden and the air, because May is just kind of bae. That being said, I think I could also make a relationship with May work, because I wouldn't be someone who would just be scared of her trying to kill me, because it's mostly for bluff and threatening, just because shut up about me not getting married. Otherwise, Konan was pretty attractive too, but I'd probably go May over Konan. If we're going into the Boruto era, it's either Hinata or, weirdly enough, Sakura, I'd say. Sakura really came into her own finally. It took you till the end of the series, Sakura, but you did it around Boruto's era. So I'd say that. But again, if I'm around 15, 16 in the Shippuden days, it's probably Hinata. Although Tamari would be a close second. Just because I never liked Sakura that much as a person. She came off a little too self-centered at points. She tried so hard and got so far, but it ultimately did not work. She just kept screwing up. So yeah, that would be my base answers right there. Okay. I have liked your My Hero and What Ifs a lot. I've only done one. I'm currently in the middle of the second, but I'm glad you're liking both of them. Definitely been worth the wait, but I do sense that you're a bit rusty with the series. What do you find the hardest with making My Hero What Ifs? Okay, I brought this up in the My Hero What Ifs, but I can quantify it here for you. With the Naruto, the Dragon Ball, and even the Bleach What Ifs, the few I've done, I have been doing those for so long, at least the Dragon Ball and the Naruto ones, that I know how the story goes like that. Like, I can do it by heart. And the characters are prevalent throughout their series. Like, yes, I have to do some jumps now and then, but generally speaking, they are like Goku or whatever. Whoever the focus of the What If is, they are generally either very prominent within the story, or they are having echoing effects within the series that I can still address while they're not on screen. And with Bleach, I just know the series very well. Well, I do know the My Hero series very well. The issue I quickly found was Deku, despite being the main character and in just about every arc, is not the forefront of the arc 9 times out of 10. Like, think about this for a second. Okay, him getting into UA, absolutely. Him fighting Bakugo in that training exercise, absolutely. But after that, and then like the UA, like when they were attacked at the USJ, sure. But after that, like the sports festival, he lost in his second match to Todoroki. So after that, he's no longer the focus. In the Hero Killer Stain training in the internship, yeah, he's the focus with Gran Torino. But if you're talking about that in the context of What If, that's 5 minutes worth of content in total. And then he comes and saves Ida. Great, wonderful. But then we get to the graduation exam with him and Bakugo fighting All Might. That's one of multiple things to talk about. And one of like 5 different like battles going on. No, it was like 10 different. It was like a lot of different battles going on. Then, and for example, another perfect example is the joint training exercise with Class 1B and Class 1A. Deku's only a part of the last bit of that. In the overhaul arc, he shows up in the beginning to meet with Night Eye, meets with Eri, then they go storm the base. But the main focus of that arc is Sun Eater and his fight, Mirio, Night Eye, Kirishima, and then Deku comes in at the very end. So the issue I found is simply trying to balance out how much of each arc is in each video, because if Midoriya is the focus of the What If, that means I got to be focusing on that. And not everything else. So yeah, it's been a little tricky, but I think I'm finding my stride here in the second part pretty well, or in the second what if, because I'm going at like 4 arcs at a time, depending on how much how much screen time Midoriya is getting and how much we focus on it. So there's that. All right. So that being said, number 4, what is your most serious injury? I've lucked out never broken a bone before, but I have sprained my wrist once, and that really sucked. I do have an ulcer. The ulcer was my own goddamn fault, and it's currently acting up as we speak. Like, I'm fine, but if I take too deep a breath, like, yeah, I can feel a little bit in my back there. It's because of like gas pains, because it's tied to my acid reflux, the ulcer. Like, I had the acid reflux before I had the ulcer. The ulcer I got when I did that flat line too many times, because I didn't just do it the one time for the video. If I had just done it the one time for the video, probably would not have been as bad. But the fact that I did not do it just one time, and I did it at least like 4 times, I think, that was bad on my part. Now I suffer for it. Luckily, I mean, it will go away in time. It always does. It's just really irritating. Then, have you ever played Pokemon Colosseum or Gale of Darkness? And if so, what I think of those games? I've never played them, but I've seen playthroughs. So they looked interesting. I just never had a GameCube. My sister has a GameCube, and I think she has one of those games. But yeah, she's played them, I think, and I think she likes them. And finally, if this is too personal, but it's okay not answering. Out of curiosity, how did you and your girlfriend meet? That's perfectly okay. No, that's fine. Those are the kind of questions that are perfectly fine to ask. Thank you again for your hard work, man. You were absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you. I like to think I'm a genius. My girlfriend and I basically just met through friends. Like, we shared a mutual friend, ironically, my ex-girlfriend of mine, who I'm still on good terms with. But we met through her. We met at a bar. We hit it off. We started hanging out a bit. And then one day we went on our first date, which was Thor Ragnarok. We went to see Thor Ragnarok. Then we had another date. Our second date was at a tea shop, and I had left, and we both left. And then she called me while I was leaving, saying, "Hey, do you want to go to a bar or something? I just want to not end the day or anything." It's like, cool. And then we kind of hit it off from there, and we've been together now for going on 7 years. So, there you go. All right. And let's see here. Now, Luke Zilla asks, if you could make your own Transformers Death Battle season, how would it look? Here's my half a season. Arachnid versus Vecnus, Starscream versus General Grievous, Tarn versus Vile, Shockwave versus Ultron, Grimlock versus Hulk, SG Optimus Prime versus Injustice Superman, Megatron versus Vilgax, Unicron versus the Scarlet King. So, I'm not really going to give you my answer because I'm not a big enough Transformers fan to really answer that effectively. I will give you my take on who I think probably wins on those. Probably Vecnus in the first fight. Most likely Starscream, because he can literally just pound General Grievous into the dirt. Granted, Grievous can tank like cannon fire, so maybe that's enough. The lightsabers can kind of chop him up, but the problem is his spark is kind of immortal, and I doubt the lightsabers could do anything with that, so he might try to possess Grievous. But still, I might go I'd probably lean towards Starscream. Tarn, I don't know who Tarn is versus Vile. I don't know who, honestly, either of those are. Shockwave versus Ultron. Ultron would beat any one of these characters. That's including, by the way, Unicron. Just because of being a sentient piece of technology. Grimlock versus the Hulk. Optimus Prime versus Injustice Superman. Megatron versus Vilgax. That one's interesting. But I'll go Megatron because of the antimatter. And then Unicron versus the Scarlet King. I'll be honest, I always forget the scaling for Scarlet King, so I'm not going to answer that one. But yeah, I'm just not going to think that up off the top of my head because I don't like Transformers enough to really try to think that hard. Bobby Reynolds, thank you though. Bobby Reynolds asked 1 of 3. If you get to meet a wish pickle machine for Sesame Street, what would you wish for? So I have not watched Sesame Street in some time. Let's see here. A wish pickle. Let's find out what that is. Wish pickle. And let's just see wish pickle machine. Pickle machine. When you wish upon a pickle, a Sesame Street special. Okay. Wish pickle. Well, I'm going to just assume right now that, nope, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Oh, hi, Amanda Seyfried. You actually did this. Well, I mean, you're not going to put it on your resume, or maybe you will, saying that you're willing to like do kid stuff. I don't know. Okay. The Cape Pickle delivered to Hooper store in his large box of unknown senders. It was the main antagonist of a Sesame Street episode. Pickle is activated by the push of a green button. It's like an electronic pickle, okay? Whereupon it grants any wish with the chant of its magic words, cucumber dill, cucumber dill, cucumber dill, gherkin. However, he only grants one wish per customer, leaving many other residents of Sesame Street in sticky situations after making their wishes. At the special end, Oscar the Grouch uses a wish to return everyone to normal, and the pickle reveals itself. The pickle reveals he had himself sent to the street to fulfill the dreams that everyone had previously sang about. Okay, so it's literally just the genie that gives one wish. It's the djinn from Wishmaster, pretty much, in pickle form. All right, if I were to use the wish pickle for one wish, honestly, there's a lot of things I'd like to wish for, and a lot of them aren't for myself. They're like for other people. And in this case, no joke, I just wish people had a bit more common sense. Now, I actually had good common sense. Now, it doesn't have to be like only thought with common sense, but like just could think with common sense for more than a minute. Because, and I'm not getting too political because I mentioned how what I thought about like the idea in the last video I talked about it. But given the fact that the election is now 6 days away, I may as well just bring my thoughts on this. Common sense. If people had at least 50% more common sense than they already had, we would get rid of a lot of racism, sexism, bias. We would probably be voting for the right things a lot more often, and we would look at two candidates and think, okay, maybe she's not good on everything, but she's not a convicted felon multiple times over, particularly of sexual assault. She's not trying to kill our Constitution and destroy our country. They're not trying to become a dictator. Like, the amount of I play cards at a club in town, and unfortunately there's a lot of conservative people there, and that's fine. Most of the time, doesn't matter. But there's a couple of them who just can't shut the fuck up. And literally last week, someone they were just talking about the election and bitching and moaning, and they just finally someone just said, "Shut the fuck up! We don't want to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up!" So I just wish, and what they were talking about too was just stupid as hell. Just stupid as hell. These small town people who, I say that because I'm a small town person, so I can definitely relate. But these small town idiots who think they know better and all that when they don't know shit. Like, I just wish for people to have 50% more common sense. That's it. All right, then. Question 2. What if you get to see a Godzilla movie where Godzilla thinks he's John Wick or the 80s, 90s action heroes and kick all the monsters' ass and take names? That's, okay, I'm not quite sure what you're meaning by that because we already have those movies. Final Wars, the end of Final Wars, that's exactly what Godzilla does, to a T. Like, seriously, I'm not, like, I'm really not quite sure, and even in the most recent one, that's kind of what he's doing too. So I'm sorry, but I don't think you quite realize the question you asked is you already have that movie. So there's that. Question 3, how would you react if someone put you in a video game? Depends. Are they like licensing? Is it something that needs licensing, or is it just like a nod to me? If it's a nod to me, that's great. Awesome. I'm immortalized in some way. If there's a licensing issue and someone like stole my imagery, my voice pattern, all that, then I would at least like some compensation, please. 0.5% of the profits. I'll be happy with that. Most good video games make millions upon millions of dollars. So I take 0.5%. I'll say $5 million. No joke. That's, let's see. Hold on. That's 10% of that would be that, and 1% of that'd be 25 grand. I'd be happy if a check for 25 grand showed up in my mailbox. So yeah. So there's that. So moving on. Insane Makayoshin. What do you think about Dragon Ball Dama? Okay, look, I know Akira Toriyama passed away, and I know he worked on this. He had some direct involvement on this. I don't give a rat's ass about it. I'm sorry. I can't bring myself to care. I don't care about them turning into kids. I really don't. So sorry. Like GT didn't do it well, but at least they had Super Saiyan 4 Goku show up to kind of balance that out a little bit. Here I'm like, I don't care about this. Sorry. And I don't have any intention of watching it. Do you want it to retcon any Dragon Ball lore? I don't care if it retcons any Dragon Ball lore. I really don't. Sorry. So the Demon World being part of Universe 7, sure. I don't care. I really don't. I'm not trying to be like, aggravated by this. I'm just like, I don't care. And 3, if you are into the Fate series, what would your ideal Holy Grail war, or what would be your ideal Holy Grail war? I'm not into the Fate series. I'm sorry for all these questions basically being kind of lackluster for you, these answers, but I'm not into the Fate series. Sorry. So Power 1099, Clockwork. What would your quirk? I'm assuming you meant quirk. That's with an I, not an A. B. What do you think would happen if Naruto was an Avatar? Personally, I don't like this kind of story, but do you? I mean, I don't mind doing those kind of stories. If Naruto was an Avatar, he'd be probably the strongest guy in the verse, save for the Avatar itself, and that's only if you're dealing with like young Naruto. If you're not, and you're dealing with just like say Shippuden era Naruto, then he's the strongest guy in the verse. So now that's not to say he couldn't be beat. He's the strongest guy in the verse because at that point he has Kurama. Especially if you're going with like late Shippuden with Sage mode, Rasen Shuriken, Kurama mode, then he becomes the strongest guy in the universe. That's just it. As for what my quirk could be, whenever we get around to what if I was in my hero video, I've had 3 ideas for a quirk. I won't tell you what they are, I'll just tell you the names. One's called Solar Power. Whoop, middle finger there, sorry. Solar Power. The other is called Graft, and the other is called Battle Oni. Those are the 3 quirks I've thought of for my character in my hero what if. So those would be the options you'd have to choose from. And I'll probably do a poll at some point when I do that. So thanks for questions. Lethal Injection asks, in your opinion, where do you scale the end of the series Naruto Shippuden characters? Me personally, I don't believe in the whole Kaguya being solar system or higher argument that's come about recently. Yeah, no, okay, here's the thing. I got into a discussion with this with a viewer a while back. I don't know if it was you, it might have been. But either way, about like Obito versus Yama and about talking about scaling Obito, and we were talking about Kaguya and the levels of power. And I was very much like, no, Kaguya is not a universe buster. She's not even a at best she might be a solar system buster, and that's not even confirmed. Why is that? This whole statement about her being a solar system or higher buster comes from the fact that she could destroy her own dimension. Well, that's great. If I make a paper mache model, I could destroy it with my own hand. Now, someone else could destroy that model too, but the point is, if I make something, if something is made by my own power, yeah, I theoretically should be able to destroy that. But beyond that, the statement that she could destroy the dimension, I feel like is taken so out of context because we don't know the size of her own dimension. Because as far as I know, we don't ever see a sun in there. My best guess is it's like this rough size of a planet, which is fine. But you have to understand, a dimension is not a universe. A dimension isn't even a planet. A dimension is a different spatial existence. For example, I could hold a dimension. My entire room could be separated, like this entire living room could be its own dimension. What does that mean? Does it mean it's infinite in size? No, it just means it's separated from other realities. That's what it means. So, yeah, and to be able to destroy a dimension is still, no matter how big the dimension is, a strong feat. But it's not something that makes you Haxed, a universe buster, or even a solar system buster. And the problem is, the only argument we actually have for her being anywhere near higher than what she probably is that statement that she would destroy her whole dimension. And we don't even know if she was actually going to be able to do that. She might have just been so angry she was just going to like rage and just destroy. It's one of those things where you say, I'm going to destroy this entire place, when you can't really do that. So, statements have to be taken with like grains of salt. You can't just have a statement. You need to have the evidence to back up the statement. You need to have feats to back up your statement. And she just doesn't have the feats to back up the statement. she was about to demonstrate some feats, but she got stopped. So because of that, Kaguya is certainly not a solar system buster, in my opinion. I know I'm going to get pushback. I don't give a rat's ass. That's how I lean towards it. So great, whatever. As for like other characters, yeah, Naruto and Sasuke, and that's another thing too. Naruto and Sasuke are not universe busters, not even close. They're not solar system busters. They're certainly in the planetary busting range, but they're not anything beyond that. Yeah, like because like they defeated Kaguya. Well, yeah, they defeated her with a seal, and then sealed her away in a Chibaku Tensei that crushed her. So like this whole idea, like perfect example is I was watching of like people taking these statements way too like or feats or whatever. Like I was watching a YouTuber do because there was that famous image of like the Nickelodeon characters as the Akatsuki. Famous image, most relatively recent image, but still. And he was calking Danny Phantom at Multiversal. Now maybe he was doing it somewhat jokingly, but because he was comparing him to the Fright Knight, when Theory could like shatter like the like dimension or something like that, and he defeated him, that just means Danny Phantom's now multiversal. One defeat does not make him multiversal. You show me an ability he has that can affect the fabric of reality on a multiversal level. Show me him using his full power on a multiversal level. Because we've seen him go all out past that point with nothing. With nothing to show that he was multiversal. Because you could be multiversal and be beaten by someone who isn't, but they could have the right counter to your abilities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta take context feats, not just statements, or context statements, not just feats, or feats and statements, not just the context. So it's like you got to do all of them. So yeah, it really bugs me when like the power scaling community kind of goes into these weird realms of power. Like there's no evidence for it. Like my only statement you have is this, and there's still no evidence to back up that statement. Now I know I'm going to get people on my case for this, and I don't give a rat's ass. As I said, like look, I don't personally think that's right, but whatever. All right, and so yeah, that's my thought on it. 2, how powerful do you think future timeline Goku was in the afterlife by the time we got to the Goku Black arc? Oh god, he was certainly more powerful than Trunks, because he was probably just training the entire time. Almost certainly had a mastered Super Saiyan 3. There's even a chance he maybe had a Super Saiyan 4. But there was no chance on God Key or anything like that, sadly. So yeah, he's powerful, but not that powerful. Have you ever thought about reacting to analog horror like some of Kane Pixel's videos? No, the only reaction I do at this time is the Death Bell reaction. That's it. So, and I'm not planning on doing anything. I used to do trailer reactions, but this was a while back, and I don't really intend. And that was really for the views, not really for my own enjoyment. So yeah. Much love, brother. You are my go-to guy for keeping me up from dying from boredom at work. Well, glad I could keep you away from your work. All right. So thanks a lot. Consultrix, I have a couple questions. One, what is your favorite what if you've done? I've been asked this multiple times. The Jiraiya adopting Naruto what if was pretty good. Most of my Naruto Zanpakuto what ifs were pretty fun. Although I will say the Naruto Kekkei Genkai video was pretty cool too. I like that too. Second, have you ever thought about doing a Bleach what if like in the Bleach universe? I've done Bleach what ifs. I've done what if Ichigo was a Saiyan, and I've done what if Kenpachi had both the Shikai and Bankai. More Bleach what ifs will eventually come. Don't worry about that. All right then. The Master Gaming. I have a couple questions for you. All right then. Number 1, is Ezra Miller and Kevin Sorbo box office poison? Ironically, we just watched The Flash last night. We're almost done with the DCU films. But Ezra Miller. So right now, I would say Ezra Miller is box office poison. Oh, man, I've been talking so much and so fast, my speech is getting slurred. And it's not the booze. It's been a while. I finished my drink a while ago. Ezra Miller right now is probably box office poison, but that's just due to recency. Like they are still very much in the shithouse for what they did. Kevin Sorbo, I would not say is box office poison, but because of his attitude, his belief system, he's probably only going to be getting things like the Pure Flicks, roles, minor roles like that going forward. And he's probably okay with it because he's got that Hercules money to sit And I know he also apparently did have like a sexual assault incident a while back with like being harassed or whatever. But and I feel for him, but unfortunately, it sucks that Kevin Sorbo did turn out to be kind of a dick. At least in whatever degree, at least like when it comes to like his political views and whatnot. Because I remember watching Xena, I remember watching Hercules growing up. I love those shows. So it I'd still, I'm one of the people though who can separate the art from the artist. So I would still be willing to like if I found the box set of those, buy the box sets. Absolutely. Okay, number 2. Why doesn't the audience show up for Chris Hemsworth movies outside of the MCU, even if they're critically acclaimed, like Furiosa and Transformers 1? Don't forget, Rush was a critically acclaimed. That was like an Oscar caliber movie. I think it's a couple things. One, sometimes the roles he's picking aren't the best. Not that the roles themselves, but the movie franchise. For example, Furiosa, the Mad Max franchise is a great franchise, but it's never been a box office smash franchise. It's done well. Like Fury Road did well enough, but you're now talking about a movie that's a prequel to a movie that barely made its money back, that is following Furiosa, not Max. So you're already in R-rated. So you're already in a niche group. So that movie unfortunately was not destined, I think, to do very well from the beginning. Other films like Transformers 1, we've talked about it before. The Transformers is a damaged franchise. It really is. And it sucks because Transformers 1 was really good. It was really good. So I don't think it's Chris Hemsworth's fault. It's, in fact, honestly, these roles probably look good. He's wants to act. I mean, he's not turning back, but he's backing up on acting just a little bit because like a couple years ago, he realized he had the gene for Alzheimer's, so he wants to spend more time with his family, but he's still going to act, just maybe doing less of it. I think like Rush proved that he is a phenomenal actor outside of the MCU, but then he's also choosing not good films like the Ghostbusters. That trailer was not good. Like, I don't know what anyone was thinking with that. Like, okay, no, I know what people were thinking. Girl power, female audience. Yeah, great. You still got to make a good movie around that. And like, he was probably the best part of the movie. He was funny, certainly, but that didn't help him out at all. There's been other smaller movies he's been in that just didn't help him out. So I think it's just choosing the right not even the right role, the right franchise. And let's also be honest, there are very few actual movie stars. If this were, say, if we were living about 15 years ago, we would still be in an age of movie stars where an actor could sell a movie on their own and get people in their seats. And we're certainly not, we haven't gotten past that. Let me phrase that. We're not over the movie star yet. There's certainly still actors that, in fact, most actors will still attract a certain audience. But gone are days where Will Smith or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Anthony Hopkins, or basically gone are days where the majority of these high-profile actors would attract, would just be the main attraction. Tom Cruise is one of maybe the few movie stars left. Dwayne Johnson would arguably be still one of the few movie stars, though even that's debatable. Ryan Reynolds might be one of the only true movie stars left, but that's depending on what you're really looking at. For example, If didn't do that well. I loved If, by the way. I really did. But If didn't do that well. But then you had like Free Guy, which did great. You had, obviously, the Deadpool franchise is big. So I would say he's also a real businessman, too. So I'd say that might be, we're past the age where actors themselves sell movies. So there's that. 3, do you think Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, and Ballerina will redeem Lionsgate box office fortunes for next year? They certainly could help, but the problem with that statement, redeem. I had someone, when I did my Venom Last Dance review, say, I'm going to have to wait I was hoping this would redeem the Sonyverse. Now I got to wait for Craven to redeem it. I'm like, okay, dude, you can't have your expectations that high. Yes, you want something to be good, but just hope that it's good. A movie can't be so good that it redeems the entire, let me rephrase that. You can't hope a movie's going to be so good it redeems an entire franchise, because that's just setting yourself up for disappointment. As for the financial redemption, that's the problem with that is you can't weigh, let's just say, financial redemption on two films because you got to factor in the rest of the films. If both these films come out, let's say each, looking at John Wick numbers, the fact that this is a spinoff though, I'm going to say, let's say 350 for each. That's 700 million, and let's say that's after tax or after the studios cut all that. And or let's say they make between the two of them $500 of profit. I think that's a fair number to look at. Let's say $500 of profit. Well, great. But if other Lionsgate films come out and make negative amount, lose money, and lose like up to $400 million, well, great. Lionsgate was able to make about $100 million worth of profit from their movies. But does that mean that these guys redeemed Lionsgate? I don't think that would be how it really works. So number 4, do you think Glicked or Gladiator 2 and Wicked will be the next Barbenheimer? No, because they don't come out in the same day. Barbenheimer, to have a Barbenheimer scenario, you need to have them out on the same day. And I'm not sure we'll ever have another Barbenheimer. That was like a lightning in the bottle moment where they both, you had a movie that made over $140 million in its opening, and then the movie that made $90 million in its opening. Like, that almost never happens, that two movies make nearly $100 million each. That almost never happens. Now, could these be good counter programming for each other? Absolutely. But I don't see it as another Barbenheimer because they're not on the same day. I'm going to move past 6 because 5 is something I'll take more time on. Is Lionsgate the worst performer financially this year, since similar to Disney last year and Warner Bros. In 2024? Right now, I haven't run all the numbers, and there's still more movies that come out this year. But right now, yeah, I believe Lionsgate is the worst of is doing the worst of the group right now, of the big 6, which for me is Paramount, Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, and Disney. They're the ones that usually do end of year box office on, which come back at the end of the year for that. And finally, what films do I think will be $1 billion next year? Zootopia, I remember looking this over. Zootopia 2 certainly has a chance. Any one of the Marvel properties hypothetically has a chance. Your best bets, though, between the 3, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four would be Fantastic Four and Captain America. There's precedent for the Captain America franchise making $1 billion. Fantastic Four could be a sleeper hit. I just don't see Thunderbolts doing it. Wicked 2, if it's good, will be another $1 billion film. And if there was another one, an Avatar Fire, Ash and Fire, I believe it was. That's guaranteed to be $1 billion because the other ones made $2 billion. Almost guaranteed anyway. Red Lantern Secolics. What would you do if you became friends with DC's Friendly Fire and DC Cyborg? Try not to get in their way and die? Sorry, there's not much to say on that. Should note, what ifs I've had people give me, and you might have been one of them, give me what if suggestions like this. These are one of the few types of what if suggestions I do not do, because this is just, I'm trying to make something that's also going to entertain everyone else, not just one person and not just something I'd be interested in. And I don't think this is not my type of what if to be doing. Jaden's app. Hey, Jaden. It's been a while. With the year getting close to the end, I figured I'd go ahead and ask your first impression on all upcoming animated movies of 2025. They're set for major theatrical release, since, as usual, I hope you try to see all of them. Please note dates are subject to change. Great, wonderful. I do apologize if it's a tricky question to an answer, only given only 2 of these have trailers. Do only 2 of these have trailers? Oh, you're right. Only 2 of them do have trailers. So, Dogman. That looks so stupid. I didn't even see Captain Underpants. And that's not because I didn't want to. It's because something else came out and then things happened. But it looks stupid, but whatever. I'll probably see it. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. I knew nothing about this. If it is in theaters, I'll try to watch it. Elio, I like the idea of it. The animation style I made is a little meh. Then we got Smurfs movie. Oh God, another one. I don't care about the Smurfs, but if it's one of those free weeks, then yeah, I'll see it. The Bad Guys 2. I like the first Bad Guys, so I'll see I'll see a sequel to that. Absolutely. Gabby's Dollhouse. I have no idea what that's about. The universe. Okay, hold on. Let me see about some of the ones that I don't know anything about. Let's see. Gabby's Dollhouse. Let's find that out. Not Dollhouse. Dollhouse. Movie. Let's try that. 2025 film. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh my. Um, I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. Like I've sat through Paw Patrol multiple times, like 2 different Paw Patrol movies, and I'm gonna be honest, I am not going to be seeing this movie because this does. First of all, I don't even think this is an okay. Yeah, no, I am not going to be seeing this movie if I can help it. I'm going to be honest with you, straight out honest. Um, the reason for that is this. Whereas Paw Patrol, I could still see value in Paw Patrol. Um, let's see here, Angel Studios. Sorry, there's another one. Angel Studios. Okay. Oh wait a minute, is there a trailer for this, David? Oh, there is apparently. It's Young David. Oh no, that's a TV series, not a movie. Young David, as in David and Goliath. I'm also going to be flat out honest. This might be another one where I just don't go to see it. I know I've been asked about this before, and I believe it was actually the Master of Gaming who asked the question. But what I have against Angel Studios or Pureflix or something like that, and be honest, they're too preachy. B, they villainize people who don't believe the same thing they believe. They are that sect of, because they make everyone in the movie who doesn't believe in God or Jesus the bad guys. They always do that. So, and maybe Angel Studios is a little better on it, but I'm going to be honest, those two are probably ones I will not be seeing. I do apologize. But Zootopia 2, I love the first Zootopia, so I'll definitely be there for that. SpongeBob, the search for SquarePants. Sure. Also, while not fully animated, I figured I'd throw it in and ask your first impressions on Paddington in Peru. Paddington is the GOAT, and I will hear nothing against it from the haters. Paddington is the GOAT, and I will be seeing that opening day. You better believe it. Thanks for the questions, Jaden. Let's see here now. Kynereth the Demon. Hey, love your content and want to know your opinion on Kurama's chakra mode, KCM. Was Kurama's ability on if Kurama's chakra mode, KCM, was Kurama's ability in general or a byproduct of the Naruto seal? The way you're talking about when Naruto goes into KCM mode and he's got the glowing aura, like he's almost looks like he's on fire with chakra. No, that I think is supposed to be a byproduct of the seal, because any other Jinchuriki just turns into their Jinchuriki, but Naruto's literally got this chakra avatar. I do believe that's partly because of the seal. So that's my thoughts, but I could be wrong. Horrible Drawer asks a couple questions. Have you ever read the Jurassic Park novel? Yes, I have. Do you prefer it over the movie? No, I don't. And would you want to see a more faithful adaptation as a somewhat reboot of the franchise? Can't hurt. We still have the original if it sucks. So, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Do you count mythological scaling, and to what degree? For example, in the Rio Danvers, or the Percy Jackson series and spin-offs, follows the myths very accurately. But if you use these feats, Percy and others get vastly stronger than what most would buy. Magnus climbing Yggdrasil, which should be as big as the universe, mythically speaking, casually is an example. True, but here's the problem with the Percy series, that yes, there are feats about holding the head. They still have the mythological feats, but they do tend to get scaled a little bit more to a realistic standard. Also, mythological feats. There's a reason I don't do a lot of for the people who have given me mythological beings in combat. I've only done a couple of them, like the Monkey King from lore versus Thor from lore. But otherwise, Judo Christianity, Muslim lore, I do not do those out of respect for people's cultures and religions. Not going to do that. That being said, though, as long as the statement matches the feat and what we see in the universe, if the world tree, if we actually see the world tree and it's not that big, then it's not a feat I would take to the bank. So, and plus, we oftentimes see a lot of the Percy Jackson characters not doing things anywhere near close to what that would be. So, and they're still tired out. So it still doesn't work for me for a scaling thing. Oh yeah, if they are universal level beings. How come they're getting tired out right now? Like, that makes no sense. So there's that. Thank you, though. Xander asked the question. Question 1, do you think you'll monetize your channel? That is the plan. Me and Mark are trying to work that out. We thought we went through all the processes to get it remonetized, but something is clearly missing here, and we're not sure what it is. We got to look into that. But that is the plan. Nazareth Hussein, are you going to dress up this year for Halloween? My intent was to dress, because Venom Last Dance was coming out, was to dress up like Null. But you would be shocked to find how hard it is to find a plastic knight breastplate. Because the plan was just simple. Find that, paint it black, and put the little symbol on. And then, have a knight costume. I did get a sword and paint it, then put on the makeup and all that. The problem is I couldn't find that, and B, I'd have to shave my beard, and I don't want to shave my beard if I don't have to. So, there. So, unfortunately, no. All right, then. Now we're getting to the long distance questions, because it's people who gave me a lot of questions in one, which is fine. Wade Wilson, congrats on hitting that sweet subscriber count. Thank you. May your success snowball like a Pokemon rolling into a defense scroll or something equally unstoppable. If you're using a Pokemon analogy, rollout would have been the better option. Now, buckle up because I got questions and I need answers. Ready? Here we go. Well, we'll do our best now. Do you remember your first Pokemon starter? Let me guess. It was Squirtle, wasn't it? And do you still use that little bugger buddy in the other games? Or have you moved on to flashier choices like the rest of us? My first starter was not Squirtle because my first game was not red, blue, or green, or yellow. My first game was actually silver. So if I remember correctly, it was either Chikorita or Cyndaquil who was my first starter. Now, have I used them since? No. Whenever I'm playing a new game, I always use Mon from the region that were introduced in from whatever gen they're introduced in. So with Gen 3, I used only Hoenn Pokemon the first time. Gen 4, only Sinnoh. 5, Unova, Kalos, so forth and so on. It's after I do that, because I want to experience the new region in the new Mon. After that is when I will then go back when I replay the games and be like, okay, now I'm going to play the new games and so forth and make my teams and some of my favorites, all that. So there's that answer. Like recently in my, I started replaying Paldea, Scarlet. And I decided, you know what? We're going to do a little game. I'm going to catch a Pokemon for each generation so far. And I basically had like a little randomizer. And basically said, okay, first one up, I got to catch a Gen 1 Pokemon. Actually, no, I didn't have a randomizer. Next time I'll do a randomizer. But that'd be actually a good kind of Nuzlocke to do. So I think my team right now consists of Golduck, which I caught a side duck first. I managed to catch a Bisharp or Pawniard for Gen 5, so I got a King Gambit. I have a Kommo-o because I got the DLCs, so I can actually go to Kitakami and got myself a Kommo-o or a Jangmo, and so I got a Kommo-o. I had a Goldingo because I actually like Goldingo a lot. Then I have a Pyroar, and what's the last one I have on the team? It's not Golduck. I had a Jumpluff, but then I moved over to a different one. It's I could just go in there and get the game right now and remember what it was. Just trying to remember everything real quick here. It was Golduck, Kommo-o, Pyroar, Bisharp, Goldingo. I know I'm repeating. I know like a type is being repeated. That's what it is. Is it a normal type? No. Is it a fire? Another fire. Hatterene. That was a Hatterene from Galar. That's what it was. So that's my team right now. But no, I generally use the new choices. I don't usually try to go back and use the old ones. If you could live in any fictional neighborhood, where would it be? And don't say Gotham unless you have a serious bat fetish. Wait, you totally have a bat fetish, don't you? Don't judge people, man. Me and the bat do what we and the bat do. But no, why the hell would I want to live in Gotham? It's a hellhole with a lot of criminals. I actually am not a big city person, so I would probably, you said neighborhood, fuck it, I'd live in the Shire. I can still figure out a way to hook up cable in the Shire, right? I'm good. Get the internet. But yeah, just make my hobbit hole a little bigger than the rest, and I'm good. Eternal youth or immortality? I mean, both sound kind of appealing if you're not regenerating smartass in a red suit. Pick one and let me know why. Eternal youth. I would not want to be immortal because eventually the sun would expand and incinerate the earth. And if I'm not off Earth at that point, then I am screwed. So yeah, and I'm like, immortality burns! But eternal youth means that I would probably stay about as young as I am, and I'm guessing in the same level of health that I'm at. So I'd have an extended lifespan, but I would not be immortal. The problem with immortality just quickly comes down to the whole watching your loved ones die bullshit. And I don't want to. I do. Look, insight into my psyche, I've already made that mental decision to be the last one standing among my group of friends, to be the last, and my loved ones, to be the last one around. Because honestly, I don't want anyone else to have to go through being the last one and being alone. So I've made that choice that I'm going to outlive every one of them just long enough that they don't have to deal with that. But yeah, immortality, no. Immortality sucks. 4, do you think mutants in the Marvel universe would still get hunted down in My Hero World, or would society finally give them a break and start focusing on the real menace, like those totally out of control hairstyles? Absolutely. My Heroes would definitely one of those worlds where mutant kind would be right at home, because that's what the quirks are. They're mutations. So yeah, it would definitely be fine. What's the most mind-blowing, unbelievable thing you've ever encountered? Oh no, and no, your mom finding your secret comic stash doesn't count. Let's be honest, it would be a comic stash she would have found. But I'll be honest, I've never actually had a mind-blowing encounter before, so I can't really answer that one. Sorry. 6, give me a quote you find yourself saying all the time. Please tell me it's from The Princess Bride. I have done Inconceivable a couple times. You killed my father, prepare to die. Anybody want a peanut? But the one that I've actually used in day-to-day life more oftentimes than not is, weirdly enough, from Tremors. Tremors 2, Aftershocks to be precise. When Burt Gummer comes back from laying waste to all the Shriekers, he's just like so pissed, tired, and fed up. And it's just like, well, Burt, are you okay? I feel I was denied. Critical. Need to know information. Like that's yeah. So yeah, I've quoted that a couple times. And I've also done like a couple other ones, like, Austin Powers. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I make you randy? I've done that, sure, but yeah. Anyway, number 7. Would Doctor Doom still be a major threat in the Magic Universe? Absolutely, he would be. Picture it: Tib tapping land, summoning crazy minions, pulling out an Uno reverse with a Doom style flare. The problem here, from what you're saying, is you're thinking that you tap lands in the Magic Universe. Unless you're talking about him as a card or as a player. But no, it's no, because in the Magic Universe you don't tap land, you just draw on mana. You tap land in the game to symbolize drawing on mana. But you don't actually you don't tap lands in the world. So yes, Doctor Doom would still be a major threat in the Magic Universe. Maybe among the top. 8, do you think Aizen Zanpakuto Kyoka Suigetsu would affect Ghost Rider? And if so, would it mess up the rider and force out behind the rider, or both? I mean, mind control versus hellfire. Well, keep in mind, Kyoka Suigetsu is not actual mind control. You're not making them do whatever they do, or whatever you want them to do. It's control of all 5 senses, which is not quite mind control, but close enough. And yes, because Aizen is a spirit being, and he can affect Shinigami who are in hollows, who are also spiritual beings. And this rider is a spirit of vengeance. So, it's definitely, I think, a yes. Could he beat the Ghost Rider? That's a different question entirely. The Ghost Rider at its peak is insanely powerful. But Aizen is also no slouch, so that'd be a fun matchup, honestly. But yes, it should attack both of them. 9, would Ghost Rider's Panster work on Vegeta, like now that he's gone all good and soft, or would it backfire and leave old Ghosty in therapy? No, it would still work on Vegeta, because the Ghost Rider's Panster works on people who've committed atrocities, and Vegeta, no matter how much of a leaf he's turned, has committed atrocities. So in theory, it could still work. Now, it could be balanced out by the amount of good he's also done. The only times the Ghost Rider's Panster doesn't work is if a victim doesn't have a soul, if there's someone who actually gets off on pain like Thanos, if they're actually more victim than victimizer like Deadpool and the Hulk. And it didn't work on Venom, I believe, because Venom kind of acted like a mask. So it didn't work there. But generally speaking, yeah, it should work on Vegeta. 10, how far do you think Baki Hama would get in the tuning exams? I mean, Ninja Tricks versus Martial Arts Mayhem, that's a must-see crossover. The problem is you kind of have a character like Baki in Rock Lee. He's not the exact same, and he's far faster and stronger than Baki is. Like, that's just it. Baki is still insanely powerful, and he actually would be a pretty competent character in the Naruto world, at least the early days. Unless he's going to start using chakra, though, he's going to run into a lot of problems, to be honest. Like, for example, just out the gate, he's not getting past Neji because Neji will basically just take down his chakra points easy. He's not getting past Sasuke, Sharingan fast as Lee without his weights on. He's not getting past Gaara's Sand Shield, and even Naruto when he gets the QB going, he's not getting past that. Not to mention Shino's Bug, Shadow Possession, so he probably actually wouldn't make it that far. And 11, the Super Dragon Balls versus the Infinity Stones. Who's winning in a clash of Cosmic Bling? Because we all know whoever wins, they're going straight for the fashion spotlight. There you go. Questions wrapped up in a package tighter than spandex. And remember, I'm watching the comments for your answer. Well, you know, dude, you commented before. They're not going to be in the comments. I'm doing a video right now. That being said, however, sorry, my dog's like, I gotta toss that out. She's destroyed this thing. Holy crap. So that's the Infinity Stones are more practical for use. You need to first gather all 7 giant planet-sized orbs. Then you need to be able to speak the language to make the wish. Now, the wish can do anything and work across multiverses, but you only get one. So, yeah, I don't see that. I see the Infinity Stones overall winning just because they're far more practical. And you could frankly just prevent someone from even getting the Super Dragon Balls with these things, so long as one or a couple of the balls are in the universe. I don't know if you could erase the balls from existence. I don't think that, because the Infinity Stones don't work against powers greater than their own. They're roughly equal with the Living Tribunal. But yeah, otherwise, yeah. All right, Darth Vader asks 1 of 11. Tell me, what drives you to create content every day? Is it power? No, it's entertainment and the joy of what I do. 2, how do you deal with haters and doubt in your path? Does the negativity fuel you? No, but I also just don't. I do that, whatever. I had one idiot. You can find it in my Ruby and Soul Reader prediction video for the Death Bell. Talk about how I was trying to bait people with thumbnail, a fake thumbnail. And he just started. It was clear this guy was an idiot. It's straight, because he didn't read the title, and he said, try reading the title. Try not using other thumbnail. No, idiot. Try reading the title. It's not my fault you going off the thumbnail. That also wasn't even the actual thumbnail because my webcam's in the thumbnail. So, I don't respond to those people very often. But he then said, accurate take, bro. And he said, retarded take, bro. I'm like, accurate take, bro. That's when I chimed in. You're getting one warning. Otherwise, I'm kicking you out. He said, oh, no, whatever will I do? But I also pointed out, you clearly don't give a shit. You were clearly just a little man-child. He eventually did stop, luckily, which I'm glad for, but still. That was just so, there's, once in a blue moon, idiots like that. Absolutely. I will say people debunked my videos before, which I'm like, hey, I had 2 debunked videos. But whatever. So I'm not I don't think I'm the grand poobah of this. Anyway, so yeah, dealing with haters, I don't care. I just don't care about haters. What do you fear most in this line of work? Surely you have felt pressure closing in. Not really. Deadlines, that's really it. I try to still do videos on time because I want to have a consistent schedule for you. That way you're oh, it's this day. That means this video is coming out. Because that's how you build up trust with your viewership. If you could use the Force to edit your videos, would you find it useful? I actually had to look up if there was a technopathy Force ability. And there is. So yes, I would. How do you handle betrayal or sudden loss of subscribers? Do you learn or seek revenge? I do neither. Generally speaking, the people who stay are just loyal and faithful. So, if someone wants to leave, I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to try to, persuade people to stay, just because I make the content I make. Do you ever feel the platform itself controls you, as if some greater force is altering your reach? Not really. I am in a very unique scenario because I'm not monetized that I don't care about like trying to please an algorithm or whatever. I'm just making content for fun, and people who watch it, watch it. Uh, 8, what would you sacrifice to gain true influence? Nothing. I don't care about true influence. If unless I were making money, I would not care about true influence. And even then, look, I have enough influence, quite frankly. I am a mildly above average fish in the massive ocean that is YouTube. So I am totally cool with that. What is the key to maintaining your presence and legacy? I know a thing or two about legacy. Honestly, just making content people like, and sometimes go back. It's particularly the what ifs. Like if people like the what if enough to just rewatch it, which I've heard some people do, that's enough to keep your legacy alive to a certain degree, I think. If you could turn back time, you need an AI cover of that now. There's a YouTuber called Caleb the Cashew underscore AI who does like SpongeBob AI covers, and he makes it very clear they're AI covers. He's not trying to fool you, but they're really good. Like what was it? Somebody to love. I need somebody to hear, somebody to love. I guess I like the way you numb the pain when the day bleeds. Like, no joke. I hate that song because the actor's voice is grating. Once Plankton and Patrick were doing it, I'm like, this song slaps. But, yeah, what was that? Oh, yeah. If I could turn, but yeah, give me a Vader AI turn back time. But if you could turn back time, how would you start your journey the same, or would you change course? I would not change course, but I would immediately be doing the what ifs, the videos on my own a lot sooner, because it took me a while to realize I had a freaking webcam I could have been on the whole time. Granted, my old computer was so old and out of date for this that it took hours to upload one video, whereas here it takes minutes. So, yeah. You underestimate the power of branding. Have you ever considered the advantage of a uniform, perhaps black? No, I don't care about branding. You know what my brand is? This is my brand. And I gotta keep the brand looking good. But no, I don't care. And besides, I wear black shirts all the time. So there you go. Thanks for asking the questions, Darth Vader. Canon Lindgren, hopefully I didn't butcher that. Your last name is always a little difficult. Hypothetical, with a budget of $50 million, what crossover as a film, a 2 to 3 hour film, or a 1 season, 12 episode, 1 hour each series would you like to see? It can be a combination of any of your choosing. I thought about this, and when I realized I brought up Tremors earlier, it reminded me of an idea I had long ago. Tremors versus Aliens versus Predators. Okay, now bear with me. Okay. I'm going in fanboy mode, man. Okay, so the Tremors are still, the Graboids are still on Earth, but it's years in the future, okay? And then a ship with the alien X lands in the desert. And, the cleanup crew trying to stop the aliens from spreading comes. They don't realize the Graboids are there, so the Graboids don't get them, and they think it's the aliens. The aliens show up, attack the people. Then the Graboids attack the aliens. They fight. The Graboids win, but kind of die, but then Facehugger attaches onto a Shrieker, and then all havoc's going to run loose. Meanwhile, we're like, what are these things? They're the aliens? No, they're a biological life form called Graboids. How do we deal with them? We have a piece of information. This was left hundreds of years ago by someone well known by the best Graboid hunter in the world. And then the face of Burt Gummer pops onto the screen. They copy his intelligence and his personality into an AI clone, and there he is. He's now just got an AI mind, like a computer mind. It's like, you idiots and all that, blah, 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 blah. So then the culmination comes, you got the aliens, the Shriekers, the Off Blasters, you got the aliens, the Xenomorphs, you got the Predators showing up too. Maybe just looking on just in case. And then you get the hybrids, you get the alien Xenomorph Shrieker creatures, which would look badass, kind of look a little bit like the Pred alien when you think about it, but different. And it all goes well, and the humans are cornered, and all of a sudden, and up on a hill, the sun shining behind his glorious manly back, is Burt fucking Gummer. And he just goes the line, why didn't you yahoos tell me you made androids? He just uploaded his mind to a synthetic, so Burt Gummer is an android with super strength, and he's just blowing shit away. And then the Predators come in, and they clash briefly. It's like, this is a true warrior. They clash. Burt manages to nearly kill the Predator, and the other Predators are watching. And they look at Burt. Burt's not mortally wounded because he's a goddamn android now. And just look at each other, and it's like, take it. And they walk off, and all is saved. But wait, there's still an alien egg there. Yes, it's now, and you will have a new facehugger. It's a alien facehugger that attaches to one of the surviving shriekers, and then it begins anew. There is my stupid, outlandish, but I'd so love to see it concept. Maybe that's a video series I can do. Because I know on Channel Austin they do like a fanscription series where they literally rewrite a series or just make something up. So yeah, I would go that route. Like that would be my, and I think it would serve much better, honestly, as a 12 episode series. Maybe. Actually, no, I can see maybe just this 2-hour movie. 2-hour movie I think could work. Yeah, now I think about it, because you can then have it on the big screen. The epicness would be even better. Anyway, I went off on a rant there. Thanks for the question. Green Scurrier asks, Clockwork, sorry to be off topic. Nothing's off topic in the Q&A. I just realized something. Juggernaut is kind of like He-Man. They both gain super strength from powers from magic, and they have a dysfunctional family tree, but the difference is one is more nice than the other is not. There's a few other differences, but it's not a bad comparison, I think. All right, then. Oh, God. Voice is starting to go again. Ichigo Kurosaki. Ichigo Kurosaki. Don't stay like that. Don't lower your guard. Stay like that. Razor sharp. Now this is where the fun begins. Ichigo Kurosaki. Gotta love Kenny. All right. 1 in 15. So what's up with all the editing magic you guys do? You make it look so easy. How many hours are you actually sitting around messing around with cuts? Okay. Big shocking reveal here. I don't edit any of my videos. Now, what you're seeing, though, is the OBS at work. Now, if you actually have the OBS, system, download system, it has like 5 different control areas. You have the scenes, you have the sources, scene transitions, audio mixer, and controls. In the sources, you have your video capture, which is my webcam right here. The window capture, which is, if I decided to, it'd be whatever's on my screen right now. And the image for when I, like, for example, I just did, like, if I do that, there's where the image is. But what I ultimately do for things like the Pokemon videos, the Zanpakuto, the Digimon, when I've done them, when I have like multiple images popping in around everywhere, is I basically you can just stack these images on top of each other and you can move them independently of each other. So if you just know where you want your image and when to show up, you can basically kind of do a trick editing style there. But I'm not actually editing by the length of my videos, obviously, because there are no cuts or edits in these videos, as you can see. All right, number 2, have you ever pulled an all-nighter on a video? I know that struggle all too well. Not in the sense of like editing, but in the sense of waiting for it to upload. Back in the day, like I said, when my laptop would take hours to upload a video, it would definitely be, it'd definitely take a while. I remember one time I was up literally just sleeping on the couch waiting for the damn thing to upload, and it just wouldn't. It was just taking forever. But now I got a much better computer, and just it doesn't take that much time. All right. 3, if you had to fight hollows in real life, how do you think you'd do it? Any plans for a vlog on hunting hollows? Not any plans for it. Problem is, those are spiritual beings, and I can't see spirits. If I could see spirits, I don't have a spiritual weapon to hurt them. If they were able to be hurt by real life objects, snipe them. Just blow their brains out. That'd be it. Because otherwise you were going to get zeroed and obliterated. 4, what do you think? What do you do when people in public recognize you? Do you get mobbed by fans? No, because no one in my area knows me as Clockwork, except for one person at my game store, my local game store. I haven't seen him in ages. Apart from that, no one else knows who I am, so I don't get mobbed by fans. Sorry. I bet you're used to dealing with trolls, huh? What's the worst comment you've had to deal with? Well, that one I mentioned with the death bell prediction. That was definitely, it wasn't a troll, but it was definitely a stupid comment. And then it just kind of escalated and snowballed out until I actually had to step in. Otherwise, I really don't get many terrible people in the comment section. I really don't. I'm very lucky to have a relatively good fan base. I do, if I were to say, not trolls, but comments that do get on my nerves, though, it's the people who think they know something and they don't. For example, when I did Jason versus Dracula, there was a commenter who commented first something that I had honestly didn't know. And uh, about the apparently the boiler feet was like a 10-ton boiler, and that's apparently fact. So the fact that Jason lifted that, I'm like, okay. Granted, he's in the dream world, but he doesn't know that. So still, all right, that's a feat I did not know about. So okay, cool. But then they called me like my scaling like shell, or I don't know if they were calling my scaling shell or calling me shell. I'm like, what? And then they said the line that made me go, okay, you don't know a damn thing of what you're talking about. They said Jason is omniversal at minimum. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? So I Googled it. And do you know where the statement that he's omniversal comes from? It comes from a wiki that literally is just designed to conflate this character. And I am wondering, it's like, are you an admin for this wiki? Is that it? Yeah, you literally have to say, oh no, this is the real wiki. Don't trust any other wikis. But yeah, no legitimate wiki would post that there. No legitimate person would do that. They would just have a wiki. So, yeah, I don't know why you're suddenly like wanking Jason Voorhees that much. But yeah, so comments like that, people who think they know something and they don't, piss me off a little bit. I'm like, okay, dude, like, no, no, I'm sorry, but no. Okay, and then let's see, where are we? Whatever. Oh, okay, number 6. How do you come up with fresh content all the time? I mean, do you ever run out of things to talk about? No, because you guys keep providing me suggestions. I literally have. If I were to just go to my What If book, I got a book that thick. That's about 75% filled up right now. Now, a lot of those are repeat suggestions, but still, that's just the What Ifs. The Who Would Wins are also massively filled up. I've got more than enough Lantern Corps video suggestions. I got plenty of Pokemon suggestions. I've got more than enough video suggestions too that if no one gave me a suggestion for the rest of my life, I'd be perfectly good with content for the rest of my YouTube career, no doubt. So there's that. Let's see here. I'm curious, would you ever try something really risky on camera for views, like a haunted house or something? No, I'm not, because I'm not in this necessarily for the views. I'm in this to make content and that people enjoy. That people enjoy the content. That's what I'm ultimately trying to do. So no, I would never do something risky for views because I'm not someone who cares about the views for so much as just making things that people like. And then the fact that I get hundreds of views on my What Ifs usually just makes me happy. Honestly, I'm one of those people that have my video, any video I do gets at least 50 views. I consider that as a win. I consider myself a success. High or low, doesn't matter. Let's see here. I'm curious, would you ever try, oh no, I already did that one. Do you ever feel pressure to be upbeat for the camera when you don't feel like it? How do you keep it together? Yes, but the only times I'm not upbeat for the camera, and and maybe sometimes shows like if I have like a headache or something, not feeling well. Otherwise, I want to be upbeat for the camera because that's more engaging. I've had people even say you need to be less upbeat. I'm like, fuck you, no, I don't. Like you need to maybe be less depressing then, I guess. I want darkness and I don't want this happy-go-lucky bullshit. Like I like literally had someone saying, you're being way too upbeat for this. Like, yeah, well, fuck you too. If you had to pick one other YouTuber to collab with to fight a real-life monster, who would you pick and why? I don't know. Mr. Beast, because he has muscles, I think. No, Liver King. Well, no, Liver King's not a YouTube guy, though. But realistically, no, I would not want anyone, because YouTubers don't have powers. Now, if we're going by the personas they portray, I mean, Doug certainly has some powers, in theory, from that guy with glasses, but sometimes he's also very cowardly, as the critic. Or maybe Malcolm as the devil. Maybe I'd do that. There's also be Teching 101 because he does have some abilities, or Linkara, despite my lack of, I've grown out, I've fallen off of Linkara, but still maybe Linkara because he does have a magic gun. Regardless, let's see here. Do you ever look back at your old videos and cringe, or are you pretty proud of everything you've done? I would say I look back at some of the old solo like reviews I did and go, that could have been better. But otherwise, no, I think and some of my old Who Would Wins when my research wasn't as good. And look, to be clear, I'm still just a guy with YouTube with an opinion. So the people who get all pissy that I don't have the guy they want win, let me rephrase that. So the people who end up getting pissy because the guy they want to win loses, Well, you make your own video about why you think it would win. Don't get all pissy because someone has a different opinion. God. Or get some facts wrong here or there. God, that's the only other person that kind of bugs me is the people who kind of just get pissy because someone has a different opinion than them. That seriously gets under my skin. Not enough to make me quit YouTube though, because I know it's a question that's going to come up. What's been the weirdest fan request you've ever gotten? Anything as weird as fighting off invisible monsters? Okay, so I do get these, like, what if some character from Ninjago or whatever became a loyal member of Ben 10 Alien Force? And then I think the weirdest request I actually legitimately ever did was, what if it was a Karen Cooper from Night of the Living Dead, the little girl zombie became a minion of Lord Zed? That was probably the weirdest one. And I only did that because it was a birthday request. Those other ones, those are like just really just too niche for me to want to do them, and too niche for anyone to, I think a lot of people don't want to watch, to be honest. Sorry about that. 12. Got any advice for staying motivated when you're getting tired or things aren't going well? Take a break. Just take a break. As long as there are no deadlines due, just take a break. There's a reason now that I actually pre-record a lot of stuff, particularly on during a work week. I'm on vacation right now, so I actually do these day by day for a change. But if you got like a work schedule and stuff like that, maybe if you're like, say, if you're a YouTuber like me, pre-record a couple things ahead of time for your schedule if you've got like a schedule per day. Because I keep myself on a pretty busy schedule with the channel. And then maybe just take a day off and just relax. Relaxation, resting are some of the most important things you can do, because that's how you refresh yourself. That's how you keep yourself mentally going. Otherwise, if you're on a deadline, still take breaks, but just, take breaks, take a moment to think, maybe try to approach something from a different angle, and just, don't let something overwhelm you. 13. What do you think your inner self would look like if you could see it? The reflection of your true personality. So in essence, you're talking about my Zanpakuto spirit. I do actually think I'd have a female Zanpakuto spirit. I've had a lot of female influences in my life. My mother. I have a lot of very close female friends. I love my girlfriend. So I think I would have a female Zanpakuto spirit, to be honest. Hopefully I wouldn't have a Kyoraku relationship where I might be banging my inner self, but is it weird if you're banging yourself? It's just like, we're not going to go there, but, it's not that bad. It's not cheating. It's still technically you. You ever regret putting parts of your personal life out there, or you just go with it? I've never put anything out there that I'm not comfortable having out there. I'll put it that way. Your ultimate goal for the channel, fame, fortune, or something else? Just to entertain. Mark's ultimate goal, and mind you, is to have us monetized at some point, but and actually make money. If we can get there, great. But I've been living so long without monetization that I can take it or leave it. So yeah. All right, Clark Kent from the Daily Planet. We're down to our last 3 people, folks. But they all have at least 7 questions. Are you ready for your interview to discuss the incredible growth in your subscriber count? Let's dive into some questions. Why, thank you, Clark. Did you know you look a lot like Superman? What are your current thoughts on Superman, and why do you seem to have a strong dislike of him? Don't you think that some of the criticism aimed at Superman would also apply to Batman, or for that matter, to superheroes with a long-standing presence in media? No. To a degree, yes, but no. This question has come up before, but the thing is that my issue with Superman comes down to 2 main factors that don't apply to Batman. One is why Superman was created to begin with. Superman was created as a symbol, to be the ideal man, to be a guy, the truth, justice, the American way, and they didn't really give him a personality very much beyond, oh, good golly gee, I'm a good person. So there wasn't a lot to go off of to identify ourselves with him. Now, I'm not saying you have to identify with every person. He's not supposed to be identifiable. I understand that, but then you make him a guy who just wants a nice, quiet life. That's identifiable. You gave him character traits later on that I just don't find interesting in a character. You didn't give him any strong flaws. Like his morality, I guess, is a flaw, but that's just because he's too nice sometimes or too good. But that'd be fine if he wasn't just so broken. That's really where my biggest problems always come down with Superman, particularly in versus debates, is He literally is too OP. You've made a character who literally can break a multiverse with a punch, whose only real weakness is a glowing rock. He's got no special resistance to magic, but that doesn't make it necessarily a weakness. I mean, for Superman, I guess that's a weakness, but there's no one with enough magic strong enough to be able to actually beat him. You just say for me like a Dr. Fate or something. You had to this led to creations of like Darkseid, Doomsday, cool characters. But what ultimately it led to in the long term is a broken universe. You scaled your universe so high that you now have concepts of multiverses within multiverses, and then like and it all stems from this character. Whereas Batman, he's a broken human being just trying to do what he thinks is right. And the fact that he's broken means he's not infallible. He can make mistakes and has made many mistakes. He's gotten his ass kicked multiple times. But because he's just got this indomitable will and desire to help in every way he sees possible, that's what makes him more appealing and more relatable as a character, whereas Superman just for me isn't. So that's, again, the generalization of why I don't like this character. And someone brought up, too, real quick for the Superman, when I did the Goku Superman debate, that I thought Superman's too OP, but I think Goku could beat him. Context morons. Sorry. Like, it bothers the hell out of me when people don't understand the context of what's being said. I still think without Superman, powering up all the way through the star busting feat, that Goku should still theoretically be able to beat Superman. But beyond that, it's not Superman's too broken for his universe, but because almost no one can defeat Superman. Whereas Goku gets his ass kicked multiple times. And Superman's only gets his ass kicked due to writing. Like, they literally have to write a reason Superman gets his ass kicked. That's the reason. Like, that's the biggest thing. When you have to figure out creative writing tools to make it believable that your character can get their ass kicked, you failed at writing a convincing character, in my opinion. Or at least give him some sort of mental flaw of some kind. And yeah, sometimes he's too nice, and that's led to problems. That's something I'd really like. People have often brought up how Batman has caused their rogues, causes so many people to die because he keeps letting the Joker go. What if you have that with Superman? He's offered mercy so many times to people who didn't deserve it that he's caused people to die. And what if you had to have him deal with that fact? The only person he's ever really gone ape shit on is Darkseid or Doomsday. That's about it. So, and that's because they can take it. So yeah. Okay, number 2. If you had to choose a fictional president to be elected in real life, who would it be? Ironically, it would not be Bill Pullman, but the person who succeeded Bill Pullman in Independence Day 2. I mean, I don't know if she succeeded him, but she was the president after it. Because we're now at a point in our world where we're actually all getting along relatively okay because we had to join against aliens. So yeah, I'd say maybe her. Or Dave from the Kevin Kline movie. I might do him. He was a good president. Let's see here. Do you believe that Batman, through his actions, directly contributed to his creation of his rogues gallery, or do you think these villains would exist regardless of involvement? It all depends on the media, but the majority-wise, no. They would exist regardless of Batman, because Batman did not actually have a hand in any of their creations. The only ones you can make an argument for are like Two-Face, Cobblepot, and the Joker. And that all depends on which version you're going with. But yeah, no, Killer Croc would exist regardless. Mr. Freeze would still have his accident. Poison Ivy would still have the accident. Bane would still have the accident. Would still be created. Scarecrow would still be a thing. Catwoman would still be a thing. So yeah, no, Batman did not directly contribute to any of these characters, save for maybe a couple, and that's being kind. Let's see here. What are the most inspirational quotes you remember being told when you were growing up? I wasn't told a lot of quotes, to be honest. Sorry. Are there any memorable movie quotes you find yourself saying out of context or recalling them often? Like I think I said it before, but feel as denied, need to know information. Out of context. I know I've done the whole pretty please, sugar on the top, clean the fucking car from Pulp Fiction. There's a lot of quotes I could probably think up off the top of my head. 6. In a showdown of journalistic might, who do you think wins, Daily Planet or Bugle? Planet. They got Clark Kent, you are a award-winning journalist. But beyond that, they J. Jonah Jameson until recent comics was very heavily biased against Spider-Man, whereas the Daily Planet was literally just reporting the news. So, like, yeah, no, it's the Daily Planet, hands down. And finally, a bit of wild card. But if Goku crash landed in Latveria instead of Earth, do you think his growth and power level would differ from what we've seen? Oh, absolutely, because he's facing different threats. It might even be greater than what we see in the original series. All right, then. Our final two, and both of you guys have done, oh God, have at least 12 questions. Shang Tsung, you've got 17 questions. Come on, man. Okay, then. Shang Tsung, mortal, what drives you to share your knowledge and skills on this platform, YouTube? Are you here to entertain, or is there a darker purpose hidden beneath? Nope, just here to entertain, just doing my thing. Your soul, what fuels you to keep creating content day after day? Is it passion, or do you seek to grow your own influence, perhaps even power? Nope, just enjoy doing it. I wonder, have you ever faced real challenges as I have in Mortal Kombat? Tell me, what was your most difficult moment as a creator? Having to actually ban people, like going to like the douchebags in the comment section, actually having to like be banning people. That would probably be it. Let's see here now. If I were to offer you my powers, would you wield them wisely to grow your channel or foolishly squander the opportunity? Choose your words carefully. Well, seeing as you steal souls, but can change your form too. Problem is, I would have to continually steal souls, otherwise I'd grow old fast, wouldn't I? So no, I probably wouldn't use your power. But if I had to, I could turn my face into characters. That'd be cool. Do you ever dream of attaining greater power through alliances? Perhaps one with me. If you're talking about collaborations, not at this time. Sorry. If you could steal the abilities of any content creator, as I have stolen souls, whose schools you would take and why? I mean, that's kind of mean. Like, if they're content creators I very much admire, then I wouldn't want to take their souls, but or their skills, because then they would suffer. But I do like the work that people like Nick NC Hammer does. Actually, yeah, he'd be a pretty good example of that. All right, then. Tell me, Mortal, what is it that your fans desire most from you? Is it knowledge, entertainment, or do they simply come to you to witness you suffer? Well, am I suffering? Do I think I'm suffering? I don't think I am. I assume people come for entertainment and that they value my opinions. So there you go. Do you feel immortal behind the camera, as if you lived as many lives as you wish, editing and re-editing your own reality? Seeing as I don't re-edit, no, I don't feel immortal behind the camera. I feel like I can just be myself, absolutely, but, I can be myself out of there too. There's much talk of influence these days. Tell me, what truly makes one powerful in the realm of the internet? Being able to make content that people will come back to and that people actually respect. That's what makes people powerful in the realm of the internet. Because you can make the stupidest you can make well edited videos, but if what you're saying is just stupid nonsense, then no one's going to take you seriously. Conversely, you could have very insightful things to say, but if you're not trying at all, then yeah, you're just going to be, no one's going to really follow you for that long, because people need some level of engagement when they're watching you. Let's say you could wield my soul stealing powers for one day. Which rival YouTuber would you choose to borrow skills from? Again, NC Hammer. I'd go with him, Nick. Do you ever feel tempted to show a darker side of yourselves? Perhaps draw the larger audience? One must always balance light with darkness. No, I don't feel like doing anything to try to get people to watch me. I'm just doing what I do. Let's see here. Mortal, do you think your fans would remain loyal if they knew your deepest secrets? Or are they drawn to your mystery? Well, that all depends. Like, probably not, but maybe, I don't know. Like, nothing about my personal life I'm ever going to reveal. Like serious personal stuff that I should not reveal, I'm never revealing. So if that's what you mean by deepest, darkest secrets. So yeah, no. But no, I don't know if people are drawn to the mystery. They're drawn to the content. 13. If your subscribers were to face off against each other in the grand tournament, who do you think would emerge champion? Well, I have too many subscribers to count, but seeing as I have both Darth Vader, Ichigo, and Shang Tsung as a subscriber, I would say Ichigo would win that. Scaling wise, he's going to kick both your asses. Sorry. Even if you were to go grand tournament of Mortal Kombat, Ichigo scales up to multiversal level individuals. So no, you can't. Sorry, ain't gonna happen. Number 14. Imagine all the platforms vanished overnight, consumed in the fires of the nether realm. What would you do next without your online empire? Probably just go to writing stories like I already do for my friends, just do it more often. And maybe just like, instead of like platforms, no, you say platforms, that doesn't mean like the internet's gone, so I can still like read stuff on the internet, or I can still keep up with like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon content, all that stuff. So, there's that. Your fathers, do they give you strength or merely consume you? Tell me, how far would you go to keep them? All I would do is just say, I hope you keep enjoying my content. And if you stop enjoying my content one day, that's up to you. But I'm not going to, do they give me strength? Maybe a little bit. Do they consume me? Absolutely not. You guys have no power over me. Well, at least in the grand scheme of things, like I still do it. I do what I want. What's the one thing you would never reveal into your audience? And don't worry, your secret is safe from me for now. Well, that's a trick question, because if I wouldn't reveal it to the audience, then like I can't reveal it to you because other people are watching this video, Shang Tsung. You're gonna have to be a lot more clever than trick me into saying something like that. But for example, my girlfriend's name, she does not want to be named. That's fine. She's got a phobia of like the online media, online like the online space. She's got a bit of a phobia on it, which is fine. Which is fine, absolutely. What's the one thing? And finally, do you believe your influence can withstand the test of time, or will you be forgotten like so many others? That all depends on how long I am on YouTube for. Like, if I could still be 80, I'm still 85 and talking, Naruto then uses his chakra to make a shadow clone, but shit his pants like I just did, but then got his Metamucil in and was ready to fight. Pudding. I doubt very much at 85 years old, if I'm still, knock on wood, I'm still alive at 85. I hope. That I'm doing Naruto videos, because at that point, even I think Naruto will have aged out by that point. That's 50 years down the road. Yeah, Naruto's going to age. It might not be as popular then, but who knows? But I'll do this as long as people still keep watching me and I keep enjoying it. So, and after that, will I stand the test of time after the fact? Maybe. It all depends on how many people are still standing after the fact, because that YouTubers come and go all the time. And finally, the last person of the day, Logan Stone, asked 1 of 12, because my voice is starting to get choppy right now. All right. So tell me this, man. How do you deal with all these people in the comments? All the talking, all the haters. Don't they drive you crazy? Not really. Like I've talked about before, I generally don't respond to people who make stupid comments. Not going to respond to those because there's no point in responding to those. It's only when people start to get very hateful and negative will I respond then and give them a fair warning and then be like, all right, you're gone. Otherwise, I just let kind of things be. And occasionally I'll engage in conversation, answer some questions. But yeah, no, there's no real big mystery to that. You making money doing this YouTube thing? Well, you didn't say thing, but I said that. I mean real money, enough to buy a nice place or maybe a fancy car. No. Again, me and Mark are looking into doing that. But even if I were making money, it would not be enough for a fancy car. It might be enough for a down payment on a decent car, which I currently do need. People always saying things about you, right? So how do you keep from, losing it? How do you keep your cool? By not caring. It's a boring answer. I just hit the point in my life. I'm in my 30s right now. I don't give a shit what the majority, by the way, of these people are probably younger idiots who just like are butthurt half the time, who are just, talking shit or whatever. And that's fine. Or disagree. That's fine too. But I'm just at that point now. I hit that point in high school where I stopped just giving a shit what people thought about me. Now, granted, I'm not just doing whatever I want. I'm still respecting people and all that. But I just, in terms of people being rude or jackasses, I don't care. All right. People are saying, okay. 4. When did you realize you wanted to do YouTube stuff? What was the moment? Were you always thinking big, or did it just happen? Just kind of happened. Our first review ever was the Pacific Rim 2-parter. And yeah, if you know what, going all the way back to one moment that I can remember actually being cringy rewatching it, Mark openly saying I needed to stop talking as much in the review. I remember that vividly. And I was like, oh, well, shit, sorry, but you really gonna leave that in the video, dude? Like, shit, man, come on. Like, be a little bit, have a bit more tact, thoughtful, edit out something. But no, he didn't. He left that in there. And honestly, it was. I love Mark to death. Love him like a brother, and we've had a lot of good run. Mark trying to be funny instead of just naturally having like some jokes come out. Like when we did the sausage party review, we just cracked up into a lot of fun stuff. But like when we did the Wolverine review and we had to redo the video because something happened at the end, and he just tried to speed round through it, and and I'm just sitting there like, no, go ahead, no, you want to speed round through this, go ahead. um So yeah, eventually we did start actually having a back and forth of what we thought. But yeah, like stuff like that, I actually look back and go a little cringe, like, oh god, did you really do that? But anyway, no, it was right around the Pacific Rim review. Just Mark decided, let's just talk. We like talking about movies. We kept seeing movies, so we're going to talk about movies. Yay! But and I still think there are like videos he had, like old reviews that he never uploaded to. But whatever. Do you ever look at yourself and think, man, I'm on top now? Or do you feel like you got to keep climbing higher? I don't feel like I got to keep climbing higher. I do feel like I'm in like a nice spot, but I'm always encouraging growth for the channel and people subscribing. So the fact that we keep getting subscribers is not a bad thing. All right. Next, tell me about the business, man. Business, man. How much time do you spend working on these videos? How much time just relaxing? Most of my week is actually relaxing, but I record at least 2 to 3 videos per day so I can upload them the next day and, be comfortable, fine with it. If I were to think of an average week is maybe 3 hours worth of videos, maybe, because I got 2 who would wins on average, which were roughly speaking about a half hour. 2 who wins, which is maybe on average about a half hour between the two. Then you got the Lantern Corps, which is no more than usually 10 minutes at most. Then you got the Zanpakuto, which can be more than it can sometimes be more. Then you got the Pokemon video, which is around half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour now. Then you got also whatever review I'm doing. So that's roughly 3 hours. But if it's a week, particularly a week of what ifs, I'm looking at like 7 hours worth of recording, or 6 hours at minimum worth of recording, because that's 7 different who would wins I got to do videos on, each probably around a half hour, give or take. So if you just do the math on that, that's 3.5 hours right there, plus all the other videos I'm doing. But after that, it's mostly just relaxing. Okay. Ever think about quitting? Just take your money and go somewhere nice, relax on the beach, maybe? Since I don't make money at this, no. But also, not really. Like once in a while, it's things like, oh, what would happen if I quit? But not because I wanted to, just because the thought, like, what would happen? Okay. Hey, you ever get people trying to take advantage of you? Like, hey, let's work together just because, but they just want access. They just want your success. Yeah. No. I've had a couple people want to collab, but I don't really do collabs. Also, don't really have the system to collab, really. All right. Do you trust your fans? Or do you think they're always looking for something, want a piece of you? I trust you guys. I mean, yeah, you want the entertainment, sure, but you're not trying to abuse that. So, yeah, I trust you guys. 10, let me ask you this. If it wasn't YouTube, what would you be doing? What's the backup plan? Maybe actually writing fan fiction? Maybe. But that might be it. Or just writing for people. 11, when you go to bed at night, what's keeping you up? You got a big dream you working for, or are you just enjoying the ride? Nope, I'm just enjoying the ride. Things that keep me up at night had nothing to do with the channel. So yeah, there's that. All right, and the last question. And this is a question, ironically, that's already been asked. But all right, last one, and be real with me. What's the end game? What do you want out of this? What do you want out of all of this? Fame, money, something else? I just want to have fun and enjoy what I'm doing. I have no real strong desire to be like a mogul or anything like that. I have no strong desire to, do I want to make money on this? Sure. it's not my end goal. It's not my personal end goal anyway. It's not anything that's monumentally important to me. So no, yeah, that would, I'd say, it's just enjoy and just enjoy it. Anyway, that's the end of the Q&A. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I gotta rest my voice. I'll see you guys for the next one. I've already done who would win and Zompakto for the day, so we're good there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.